Oh, look at this. An article from the New Statesman. And they ask this question. Shows like The Rings of Power and She-Hulk have been runaway successes. Why can't keyboard warriors admit it? Happily, these shows have proven to be huge hits, extremely popular with audiences and critics alike, despite the trolling. Now, we're going to set Rings of Power aside here because Rings of Power actually makes this list. She-Hulk doesn't. Now, I want to focus on She-Hulk for a reason because I want to show you something. She-Hulk has failed to make this list multiple times. This is top 10 shows for streaming for the week of September 19th through the 25th. Now, that's important to point out because multiple, at least one, Jamil, wanted to go and get a one-up. Wanted to one-up and ratio and destroy this gentleman right here, Gobby Guy, who responded to her for this post. This is when she was having a meltdown, when she said that She-Hulk was number one in the ratings. It was number one. He said, you're number one on a single app-based chart. It didn't even make the top 10 on Nielsen. Marvel's never forgotten anyone, but that rubbish statement is expected. Trying to make it about representation, simple fact is most have found it to be poorly written and boring. And then she shares this. This is from this Whip Media site, which I guess is new. I don't know a lot about Whip Media, but Whip Media claims the show is number one. But now, I believe this is around the same time that was posted. I don't have the original, but she posted this on October 3rd, which lines up with the episode's ratings of that week. So this is the ratings, the actual ratings for the episode that she said was number one. Well, if you look at Nielsen, which is much better than Whip Media, it's not even on the damn chart. Now, the New Statesman is claiming that She-Hulk is a runaway success, but it doesn't make the Nielsen top 10. It hasn't made the Nielsen top 10 maybe the first week it came out, but since then, it hasn't even been in the top 10. That's embarrassing for a Marvel show, by the way. Now, Rings of Power is on here. However, notice what's changing now. 5 episodes in, it's at number 4. What's at number 3? House of the Dragon. That's a trend you'll continue to see. I can't wait to see how much further this drops down the list, too, by the way. Rings of Power. So, are people watching Rings of Power? It does look like they are watching it, and it probably will stay in the top 10. However, She-Hulk is not a runaway success. And it's funny that they're calling this a runaway success, because I remember another show that didn't make the Nielsen top 10. That was Miss Marvel. And you have straight-up outlets saying that the show had low ratings. This is from Forbes. Why lower ratings for Miss Marvel means bigger problems for Disney+. Now, I could find more articles. I didn't want to dig for them, but there was a couple. I know I covered one or two about Miss Marvel's ratings. I didn't watch Miss Marvel. I don't know a lot about it. I heard a couple people say it was an okay show. So I'm not here to talk about it. I'm just pointing out this is the second Marvel series that has failed to make Nielsen's top 10 in ratings. That's pretty pathetic. So Jamel, if that's how you say her name, is proven wrong here. Misinformed. Spreading misinformation. That's what she's doing about her show. But outlets are saying apparently not being in the top 10 is a runaway success, which I find funny. It's a lie. Why can't you just admit the show sucks? Now, this is a long article going over She-Hulk and Rings of Power. And what's funny is they mention Ryan Kinel and they mention Nerdrotic. This is a attack piece on YouTubers. And I find it funny that they're completely ignoring that fact. They're ignoring the fact that She-Hulk is not a hit show, because it isn't. You know what is a hit show? Dahmer, Cobra Kai, House of the Dragon. I guess Rings of Power. I can't ignore that it's number 4. So I guess maybe that show's doing better. I just don't believe. Something doesn't sit right with me with Rings of Power because the fact that nobody's freaking talking about it. Everybody's talking about Dahmer. Everybody's talking about House of the Dragon. People are still talking. Well, not as much now, but people were talking about Cobra Kai quite a bit. She-Hulk, though, nobody's talking about She-Hulk at all, except people making fun of it, which is why they had to go ahead and jab at Ryan and Gary. You can read it right there for yourself. You can also look up the article if you want to read it. There's the headline. I just think that it's ridiculous that they keep going after people who are calling out bullshit. By the way, what is it with the people in She-Hulk and making sure that the show was about sex? She-Hulk director says Marvel was more nervous about show's gleeful horniness than self-parody. They should be worried about it. It's a show made for kids at the end of the day. Yeah, this stuff has things adults enjoy, but Marvel definitely wants younger people to watch it. But they want to make sure that it's about sex-positive stuff. The director was talking about the other day. Now Jessica Gao is talking about it. She had to write herself into the show, by the way. The show is a disaster. And the ratings prove it. So we'll definitely be keeping up with this. We've only got to... this would have been around, I think, episode 5 for this. So, we're going to have more data coming out as time goes on. I can't wait to see if the show ever gets back on this chart. I guarantee you it doesn't. But it's a runaway success. It's a runaway hit, according to the New Statesman. Runaway hit. You're a keyboard warrior if you say that it doesn't, if it's not a hit. I mean, Nielsen wouldn't lie, would they? Nielsen, the data company that's collected data for decades, they must be trolling. Maybe they're alt-right now. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. I will see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, check out my Rumble and Locals. Make sure to check out my Locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my Locals.